Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. The President Associations of International Business and Professional Management AIBPM, Your Excellency Lim Kaisin PhD, Your Excellency, the Head of International Studies Department, the Graduate School of Frontier Sciences, the University of Tokyo, Professor Dr. Suzuki Aya, Excellencies, the keynote speakers of today's conference, our co-host Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia, Excellencies, presenters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 2022-2023 Tokyo International Conference of Project Management held by Associations of International Business and Professional Management, AIBPM. This event is attended by various people around the world, from Indonesia, Malaysia, India, Japan, Nigeria, Pakistan, and so forth. I am Aule Herdiani. I feel honored to be the host for today's event and welcome you all. It is a perfect opportunity for us all to interact and network with peers and colleagues across countries. I do appreciate you for taking your busy schedule to join us today, Monday, 25th September 2023. On these occasions, we'll have outstanding discussions from our prominent speakers, whom I believe shall enrich our insights on how to embrace changes in this evolving world to be more resilient in management and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, before we officially begin our international conference, we'll reverse and listen to national anthem Indonesia Raya. Excellency speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present you AIBPM and the University of Tokyo.
This academic conference is one of the most important conferences specifically to me because it allows us academics and students, our students, to get together and start sharing the latest in terms of research and education. I encourage all to participate in this wonderful conference, and I thank the organizers for this wonderful conference. Thank you.
activities, and I really love it. It belongs to accounting, management, and also business. And as I am master of accounting, I really enjoyed, and I got really many beneficial knowledge from these activities. And I would like to join to the next agenda of this program.
Thanks a lot for inviting me to such conference that we got experience. It's really benefit for new generation. So we are so happy that we join such kind of conference. Hopefully next time we will enjoy another conference, such beneficial conference.
Kesan saya selama mengikuti international conference ini sangat recommended ya, karena sejak dari proses aplikasi submit paper sampai dengan pelaksanaan baik ini versi online maupun offline, suasananya bagus, enjoy.
Saya happy banget ikut conference ini dan feel so lucky karena saya ketemu banyak banget guru-guru yang bisa saya ikutin jejaknya, dan juga paper saya juga beberapa kali juga udah dipublish.
Welcome to the website of the Graduate School of Frontier Sciences. I am Tomochika Tokunaga, Dean of the Graduate School. Our school was established in 1998 to open up new academic fields with the support of the University of Tokyo. We named the school Frontier Sciences based on our mission, pioneering new fields. The school is located on the Kashiwa campus, approximately 30 kilometers northeast of Tokyo. We share research institutions of the University of Tokyo on the same campus, where we pursue adventures of knowledge. The town of Kashiwa-no-ha, where our school is located, has been developing with our school. Based on our school's motto, transdisciplinary research, we conduct research on urban designing and solving issues for the local community and with the community. The school has a faculty of 550 and 1,500 graduate students. Every year, we receive approximately 550 new students, and one-third of them come from overseas. On the Kashiwa campus, we conduct research and education, aiming to solve issues the modern society has, imagining the future of our society. To conduct innovative research, integrating research of various fields is essential, as well as deepening research in each field. And that is our policy and mission. Moreover, we open our door to the world. We receive many researchers and students from abroad to our Kashiwa campus. One of our exchange programs for international students is the University of Tokyo Summer Internship in Kashiwa. We call it UTCIP. Excellent undergraduate students from abroad participate in this program. We provide them with opportunities to experience cutting-edge research for 7 weeks. Some students who studied in my laboratory entered our school after they experienced the UTCIP program. Students from all different countries, including UTCIP students and Japanese students, create a globalized atmosphere in our school. They actively participate in studies, research, school and community activities, and grow experiencing them. We have offices on our campus to provide full support for students to have safe and fruitful life here. For example, the International Liaisons Office supports international students by offering many opportunities to experience Japanese culture and various things. The Educational Support Office supports students' research and education. It is certainly meaningful for both students and professors to develop research and the environment into a more and more globalized one. The Graduate School of Frontier Sciences offers chances and places for students, faculty, and staff to cultivate new academic fields. Anyone who is interested in our research and policy is all welcome. We are waiting for you to come and join us.
Without further ado, I'd like to invite the respected Vice President of AIBPM, Mrs. Ira Christiana, to deliver the opening speech.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great privilege for me to present the 2023 Tokyo ICPM Conference to the authors and delegates of the event. We hope that you will find it useful, exciting, and inspiring. The 2023 Tokyo ICPM Conference is a prestigious event organized with the motivation to provide an excellent international platform for the academicians, researchers, industrial participants, and students around the world to share their research findings with the international business experts. In this 2023 Tokyo ICPM Conference, is attended by around 240 participants from Indonesia, Malaysia, India, Japan, Nigeria, Pakistan, Iraq, Bangladesh, and many other countries. There are many presenters to online presenters, and some of them do presentation offline. We would like to say a big thank you for all keynote speakers, partners, and also committee. Thank you, Professor Suzuki Aya, for your huge contribution to help to organize this conference. Without your help and support, this conference cannot be held successfully. And Shinji Ayuhab, PhD, 10-year stewardship officer. Sumitomo Mitsui, Trust Asset Management CO Ltd, and all of the committee members from Tokyo University. And keynote speakers, Professor Vinita from India, Professor MD Mamun Habib from Bangladesh, and Dr. Ranjith from India. The 2023 Tokyo ICPM Conference aims to provide opportunities for a global participants to share their ideas and experiences in person with their field expected to join from different parts of the world. In addition, this gathering will help the delegates to establish research or business relations, as well as to find the international linkage for future collaboration in their career path. The 2023 Tokyo ICPM Conference outcome will lead to significant contributions to the knowledge base in this up-to-date business and management field in scope. Therefore, on the day of completion of this journey, we are delighted with a high level of satisfaction and aspiration. The responses for the call of paper have been overwhelming, both from Indonesia and from overseas. We would like to express our gratitude and appreciation for all of the reviewers who help us maintain the high quality of manuscripts included in the proceedings. We would also like to extend our thank you to the members of the organizing team for their hard work. We are now optimistic and full of hope about the 2023 Tokyo ICPM International Conference. I would like to say thank you for all the keynote speakers, all section chairs, master ceremony, and moderator for the full support. Thank you all for your support and all dedication to make this conference happen. We appreciate that the authors of the 2023 Tokyo ICPM International Conference may want to maximize the popularity for their papers, and we will try our best to support them in their endeavors. Let us wish that all the participants of 2023 Tokyo ICPM International Conference will have a wonderful time in conference. I'm Alexis, Vice of President AIBPM. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ira, for such great speech. And then following, I'd like to invite Professor Dr. Suzuki Aya to deliver the opening remark.
The Honorable President of the Association of International Business and Professional Management, Honorable keynote speakers and presenters of the conference, distinguished guests and participants, good morning. My name is Aya Suzuki, and I am a professor and the head of the Department of International Studies, Graduate School of Frontier Sciences, the University of Tokyo. Today, I am pleased and very honored to deliver this opening remark to the conference. I am informed that apart from the offline workshop that we will have in Japan today, there will be as many as 90 online presentations from all over the world. This shows the huge interest that this conference has attracted, and I would like to congratulate and thank the organizers, particularly Dr. Lim Gaishin and his team, to plan for this event. The theme of this conference is Embracing Changes in the Evolving World, Resilience in Management and Finance. We decided on this theme considering many global challenges that the world is facing today. The recent pandemic has revealed how vulnerable our society is when faced with such a situation. It restricted our movement and direct interaction with people, and had a lot of negative impacts on our economic and social activities. The climate change is still a pressing issue, with developing countries being affected more profoundly than others. The geopolitics has become more important after the Russian invasion to Ukraine. The conflict also raised the energy and food prices worldwide, affecting the livelihood of millions of people. Indeed, the world is facing many difficult issues, and it is evolving very fast. Faced with these challenges, I think academics has an important role to play. Or we can even say that we have the responsibility to offer to the society what we know and what we find from our research. While conducting sound and rigorous research is by no means important, communicating our finding to others is also an important aspect to promote mutual learning. By learning from other research or other disciplines, we can improve our research, and consequently, we can better advise our policymakers and practitioners. At the Department of International Studies, the Graduate School of Frontier Sciences, the University of Tokyo, we put great emphasis on interdisciplinary research, as this kind of approach is often needed to solve the real-world problems. Our department consists of faculty members who specialize in engineering, economics, agriculture, and humanity. To work with experts from different disciplines, we value dialogue as mutual understanding and learning are indispensable in interdisciplinary research. I hope that this conference will be one of those small steps to provide learning for all the participants to contribute more to solving these challenges in the society. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Professor Aya, for such insightful opening remark. It is an honor to have you here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we joyfully announce that the international conference is officially begun. And welcome to the 2023 Tokyo International Conference of Project Management. Well, before we start seminar sessions, I'd like to invite all panelists and participants to turn the camera on. We'll take group pictures, and the committee will be helping to capture it in a moment. Miss Alicia?
Thank you. Good morning, all. I will take the picture from the gallery one. So please make sure that your camera is turned on and open your mics. Okay, I will start from the gallery one. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you. Next, I will move to the second gallery. Please turn on your camera, please. Okay, I will start. Take the picture on 3, 2, 1. And then next, move the next gallery. 3, 2, 1. And next, 3, 2, 1. And the last gallery, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alisa, and also thank you, ladies and gentlemen, also Bapak dan Ibu. We would like to invite you to share today's photo to your Instagram and give the hashtag 2023 ICPM and info for academia 4 stand for number 4. And the best Instagram post will get free entry to our next conference. We also like to invite you to follow our Instagram at info for academia. Once again, 4 stand for number 4, and then our YouTube channel on AIBPM Talk Series. You can obtain up-to-date information about our events, publication opportunities, and the video of our conferences. The information also has been shared in the chat box, as well as other information related to upcoming events and also opportunities. At long last, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2023 Tokyo International Conference of Project Management. Now I'm excited to introduce you the keynote speakers of today's conference. We have 3 excellent speakers with us right now. The first one is Professor Vinita from Neta Subhash Chandra Bose Government Girls, Postgraduate College, Aliganj, Lucknow, India. Following by Professor Muhammad Mamun Habib, PhD from Independent University, Bangladesh. And then the last but not the least, Dr. Ranjith PV from Christdim to be University, India. It is also my deep pleasure to introduce you the moderator for today's event, Dr. Rudresh Pandey. Good morning, Dr. Rudresh.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, and good morning to everyone. And thanks for joining.
Thank you. So is everything good from your side, Doctor?
Yes, and everything is good from India. and I'm so happy to be a part of this international conference where people from so many countries across the globe have joined. I really feel honored to join this journey. I'm also thankful to AIBPM for giving me this chance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rudres. At first, please let me to read the short bio of Dr. Rudres Pandey. Dr. Rudres Pandey is a distinguished alumnus of IIM Indore, represent a unique blend of academic and industry expertise. Alongside his MBA with distinctions from DAVV Indore and PhD from Barkatullah University Bhopal, he has undertaken prestigious programs at renowned universities and institutions like IIM Kozhikode, IIT Kharagpur, and NTU Singapore. His robust 23 years career featured a decade spent at corporate heavyweights like Reed Business Informations and India Today. Beyond being a startup consultant, he is a respected figure in international forums, having presented at esteemed conferences in China, UAE, Singapore, and India, with over 80 published research papers in his name. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Rudres Pandey. Dr. Rudres, the time is yours.
Thank you, Alia. Thank you very much for giving me this chance. Before I start, I would like to thank Honorable President of Association of International Business Professional Management, AIBPM, Professor Lim Gai Sen. Honorable Professor Dr. Suzuki, Head of the Department at University of Tokyo. Honorable keynote speakers who have joined with me in this session. Honorable our partner and people who have joined from University of Tokyo. Honorable our co-host University Nigeria Malang from Indonesia, and scholars and people who have joined from this university. I also welcome to all honorable presenters, lecturers, distinguished guests, my fellow students, and ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, welcome to this international conference. And we are part of this international conference where people have joined from across the globe, from various countries. My name is Dr. Rudresh Pandey, and I'm the moderator here. So first thing first, I'll announce the rules and the presentation time before I start to introduce my honorable keynote speakers with me. Today we have 3 keynote speakers, and the conference rules are, first thing is that all online participants will be muted during the presentation. There will be a question answer session after the keynote speakers finish their presentations. The moderator has the authority to choose who will deliver the questions or suggestions. Before I start, I would like to inform you that each keynote speaker has around 20 minutes to present their slides and 10 minutes for the question answer sessions, which will be done after the presentation session. For the offline presenters and offline participants, if you have any questions for our keynote speaker, you can ask the committee to allow you to deliver your question or ask your question and come forward to the operating desk. So now let me introduce my first honorable speaker, Professor Vinita Lal from Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Government Girls PG College, Aliganj, Lucknow. Professor Vinita Lal is currently a professor at Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Government Girls PG College, Aliganj, Lucknow. She has many academic achievements like orientation programs at Aligarh Muslim University, professional development courses at Lucknow University, academic at Academic Staff College, University of Lucknow, and she has written many research papers. Few of them are Role of Globalization on Rural Market, a Sociological Study of Western UP in Interdisciplinary Research, referred journal Jigyasa at Banaras Hindu University. I hope I'm audible now. I'm sorry, there was a internet glitch at my end. I'm really sorry for it. So let me introduce Professor Vinita Lal again. So as I was discussing, there was a internet disconnection at my end. So Professor Vinita Lal, I hope I am audible now.
Dr. Rudresh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry for this. So there was an internet disconnection at my end. So Professor Vinita Lal is a very renowned researcher. She has written many research papers, including the role of globalization on rural market, sociological study in Western UP. It is in an interdisciplinary referred research journal Jigyasa at Banaras Hindu University. She has also published various other research papers on globalization and education, etc. She was a speaker on women's rights at ICICI Skill Development in Lucknow. She has also published a book like E-Globalization, like Globalization and Indian Villages and Social Changes and Social Control. So I invite Professor Vinita Lal. Professor Lal, the time is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, organization. Good morning to all of you, respected chair, dear audience. I'm very thank you to AIBPM Conference to inviting me as a keynote speaker. I think am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, anybody respond me. Can you hear me? Okay. Without taking so much time, I'm going to share my slide. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is shown. Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. It is there.
So my presentation title is Health Evolution in the Post-Coronavirus Pandemic. Everyone know health is a vital aspect of human existence. It comprising various dimensions like physical, mental, social well-being, and it denote a condition characterized by holistic well-being encompassing surpassing the mere absence of disease or impairment. My study will explore the significance of health and its diverse nature, primarily you can say the maintaining physical health necessity, the corporation of regular physical exercise, a balance.
Ma'am, just request you to kindly slide show your slides so that it is in the full screen, ma'am.
Okay, let me. Now it is okay? No. Just to give a time. So, the development of a strong and resilient physical constitution not only has a positive impact on individuals' overall well-being and enjoyment of life, but also serve to mitigate the likelihood of the developing chronic illness, ultimately leading to extended duration of existence. So mental well-being hold equal importance encompassing emotional and psychological health, and it influence over the cognitive processes, emotional states, and behavior pattern. So the presence of sound mental enable individual to proficiency, navigate stress, foster positive interpersonal connections, and exercise judicious decision-making ability. So in contrast, individual with the comprised mental well-being, and it may encounter a range of difficulties like anxiety, depression, and sometimes even substance abuse furthermore. Social health highlight the importance of interpersonal relationship and social support network. It established the cultivating strong relationship with one's family, friends, and communities are the key component of achieving a fulfilling existence. So these indicators provide individual with emotional supports of feeling of inclusion and chance for the growth. So in the present day, it is characterized by rapid societal advancement, attaining a state of balance across several facets of well-being, and it can pose the significant challenges. So failing to consider any aspect can have an effect in total welfare. So it is imperative for individual to prioritize their health by adopting healthy habits and requesting assistance when needed and engaging self-care practice. So the COVID pandemic, which originated in 2019, and had a significant global influence encompassing a range of area, including society, politics, economic, healthcare in the multiple nations. And the previous occurrence were several accounts. This is a acute respiratory syndrome and Middle East respiratory syndrome. Additionally, have been other viral outbreaks such as Zika virus, Ebola virus in the past 10 years. So there is a growing recognition that infection disease should be considered as a prominent health menace that will persistently challenge in the foreseeable future. So the COVID-19 has functioned as a mean of accessing the readiness of the healthcare system in multiple areas. The special focus on their level of the preparedness, and the findings indicated that effectiveness of the public health surveillance system and the adequacy of existing infra were not uniformly excellent. So healthcare system have difficulty in simulating and managing abrupt and continuous surges in the workload, particularly within the acute care environment, and not withstanding the existence of contingency plans. Healthcare system appeared inadequately prepared to address the sudden and substantial increase in demand. So from policy perspective, the consequences of delay in prompt decision making, such as implementation of lockdown measure, it can have substantial impact on the subsequent healthcare outcome from an epidemiological standpoint. So the COVID-19 has acted as a catalyst, and it expediting the implementation of alteration in the public health initiative. The aforementioned development have given rise to novel healthcare delivery paradigm, and that prioritize preventive intervention remote care area. So this is all my secondary data sources, and some review literature are here. Research material is totally secondary database because time is very. So I'm going to come to discussion. My pandemic as a catalyst, I have told you. The second is a shifting large of the patients to remote area. Yes. The mental health care field has also witnessed this phenomena, where the COVID pandemic has served as a catalyst for the integration of online therapy, health technology into regular practices. So this development follows a numerous attempts over the course of more than 2 decades, and it is characterized by combination of noteworthy efforts and predominantly unsuccessful outcome. So the prevailing imperative in the profession, such as assertion that the establishment of clinician-patient therapeutic bond, it can occur through face-to-face interaction, and are currently being addressed despite evidence suggesting. So it is probable that mental health care institution, upon acquiring the capacity to provide service to their patients through various digital technologies in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, it would have limited incentive to relinquish these capabilities given the benefit they observe throughout the extended duration of the crisis management. So it is anticipated that the forthcoming blended approach will arise, where a e-mental health solution will assume more prominent role within the ordinary services. And furthermore, the existing knowledge and skill can be applied to enhance the implementation of more comprehensive e-mental health strategy for the general population. So this approach would evolve not just guided intervention, but also entirely self-directed interventions, such as self-help application, online therapeutic modules. So the feasibility of implementing the later approach in the setting and the nation with limited mental health resource, where the demand for the such service has been recognized, it should be examined and perhaps implemented as a favorable long-term outcome following the COVID-19 pandemic. And remote care or telehealth service have been employed in the service healthcare context, including the emergency crisis and routine care. So my next point is improved emphasis on surveillance system and data analysis. Yes, the swift worldwide dissemination of SARS-CoV-2 highlights the persistence of need of creating reliable and inclusive surveillance and system for infectious illness. So public health surveillance for infectious illnesses dependent on the collection of positive test results from the designated clinical laboratories or laboratory network in order to track the occurrence of specific pathogenic microorganism within a particular population. So the current endeavor to optimize public health spending has led to consolidation of multiple clinical microbiology laboratories and result the tradition toward the laboratory integration. So the process of consolidation has resulted in the establishment of operational framework in which significant centralized clinical laboratories and do most duties on the central platform. So therefore, it is imperative to consistently employ big data and artificial intelligence, a technique from the purpose of the modeling crisis, as well as identification and comprehension of weakness inside current system in nearly instantaneous manner. So the utilization of mobile technology has been prevalent in successfully overseeing individual in the quarantine and tracing possibly exposed individual inside certain region or countries, and as demonstrated experience of South Africa and Taiwan. So these revolutionary technology are anticipated to have growing significant in the realm of public health, facilitating out our understanding of the complex and the interrelated global landscape. So in order to implement the many changes in the strategy, and it is necessary to enhance public awareness pertaining to healthcare system. So as well as improve the technologies available and their potential use effectively managing outbreak of infectious illness. The third one is a development of legislative. This is a COVID-19 has expedited numerous process, yet several problems continue to endure and the consent had a range of topics, including but not limited to credentialing, licensing payment, as well as different issues pertaining. So in order to further explore the ethical dimensions and adopt perspective, so it is very important to consider the acquisition of you can say it is a like acquisition and ability of vast amount of personal data, such as those obtained through geotag social network, and these renders the practice of total data anonymization. The third one is the development of political. So further broad population viewpoint, the exclusive reliance of anonymous data to safe privacy of data providers may hinder the optimal functioning of system and the compromising of idea of accountability. As a result, openness is the reason for this. So in this context of contagious disease, the utilization of anonymous information of a paramount importance. So a prominent characteristic of ongoing pandemic is a very remarkable proliferation of misinformation, conspiracy theories, and rumor pertaining to COVID-19, and it is disseminated among the general populace and through various social media platforms, and these has several effects on our endeavor to address the prevailing epidemic, both in immediate and the extended duration. So the proliferation of the disinformation during the pandemic may be attributed in the maybe exhibited in the widespread. It is a very proactive debunking of the unsuccessful for the COVID-19 and being marketed on the internet platform and the social media. So social media site act in the response of proliferation of fraudulent posts, either by removing them entirely or by flagging them with the assistance of fast fact checker. So there has been a significant surge in the quantity of English language fast check during the period from January to March. And within increase of the 90%, this surge has outpaced the existing resource dedicated to fast checking. So it is extremely probable that the dissemination of information has occurred at more accelerated rate. So the next is one I would like to highlight. COVID-19 pandemic, where specific understanding it is characterized by uncertainty, and the adoption of precautionary principle is widely regarded as a rational approach to ensuring the protection of public safety. And it is anticipated that COVID-19 pandemic, there will be critical examination of numerous measures in terms of their temporal appropriateness and efficacy. So this scrutiny will encompass the assessment of whether the measure and their execution were commensurate with the level of danger, as well as evaluation of legal appraisal made based on the scan. The next one is the development of communication technology-based approach, which is very important because it breakthrough in the communication machine learning and transportation play a very crucial role in driving the progress of healthcare and the expansion of medical care telehealth coverage during the pandemic. It signifies a very notable advantage step. It enhances the ability of healthcare treatment for those with chronic neurological conditions within their immediate region. So the adoption of new remote service in the healthcare has raised security concern as evidenced by the phenomena of Zoom bombing, and these concerns impact both patients and healthcare providers. So therefore, it is a very crucial that technology-driven methodology prioritize the safeguarding of participant privacy by implementing requisites. And the post-COVID-19 age has brought a fourth realization that a significant proportion of the healthcare service, and it can improve through the utilization of technological breakthrough and certain services, and it can equally effective when administrative remotely. So in some scenario, post-operative monitoring, telephone consultation have found to be as effective as in-person visits, demonstrating similar patient satisfaction level and rate of complication or adverse events. So next one is the development of financial methods model to support scientific risk and crisis preparedness. As COVID-19 had a dual impact on laboratory medicine efforts and result in different outcomes. Like microbiology department have observed substantial rise in diagnostic workload, and it is a result in patients who are suspected for being afflicted with the COVID-19, and conversely, non-COVID-19 related operation conducted in the clinical laboratories, such as cancer services, experience a significant decline and necessitated the implementation of remote service model for adoption. So, comparable scenario transpired inside a institutional and hospital setting where there was a decline in regular activity, hence requiring the redistribution of the personnel and resources. So this pandemic has resulted in a significant alteration to healthcare begins model to fundamental academic health science, public health, surveillance, and the industry, and the utilization of informal network, which encompasses a clinical laboratory serving a consortium of hospitals, academic groups, and test manufacture has instrument in the Europe response to the this pandemic. So the result of their expedition, mobilization, and prompt reaction to clinical demand, it is very likely that additional worldwide endeavor akin to those operating within the innovative medicines, and this initiative framework will augment it, and with the objective of safeguarding a diverse area of inventing methodologies. So the imperative of confront the COVID-19 problem prompted significant healthcare provider to respond promptly and frequently without the chance in depth deliberation regarding the corresponding financial implication. So it is indeniable that the magnitude of the investment needed to address the challenge posed by the COVID-19, and it is ambitious and warrant careful attention in the near term. So it is a imperative to build new public-private collaboration encompassing the domain of medicine development, vaccine production, diagnostic testing, and in also scientific research, collaboration, and preparedness for the crisis. And it is very crucial to implement novel financial models that prioritize the facilitation of the additional sources of the funding, acknowledge the significance of delivering financial return to capital provider, and establish the sustainable development. Now to the conclusion. Because time is, I think, going to. So the significance of proactive healthcare emergency and you can say health emergency and a strengthened dedication to global public health preparedness is shown by COVID-19. It is very imperative to consider the insight gained from the constant observed in the current healthcare system, addressing infectious disease outbreak in the 21st century, and this will facilitate an inviting of the transformed landscape. And moreover, it is a very imperative knowledge that the use of you can say use of technologically enhanced solution, and it demonstrated efficacy and should be incorporated as an essential component of the regular healthcare protocol, and the attainment of the optimal outcome needs the active engagement of the both patient and healthcare providers. So, however, endeavor require the careful consideration and the resolution of ethical and regulatory and legal issues that have emerged in the context of ongoing epidemic. Current crisis has provided the foundation for the significant health transition in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it enhancing the preparedness of the healthcare system address future global in coming 21st or 20 coming century. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vinita. I think, first of all, congratulations to you for such a wonderful research. Professor Vinita spoke about public health, about social health, and the changes which we are seeing after a pandemic, which was COVID-19. Professor Vinita also explained us how big data, how mobile technologies are changing and affecting the way we look at our problems now, especially the health problems. There are ethical dimensions also, which Professor Vinita touched. And she also showed how uncertain things are when we are changing, when we are living in this changing world. Now I open the floor for questions. You can ask question, you can raise your hand. Anyone who's raising hand, I'll ask them to put their question and ask their question. You can also write your question on the chat box. So I'll read the question for on behalf of you to Professor Vinita. So anyone who's asking questions, please raise your hand or write in the chat box. Professor Vinita, before these questions start coming, I would like to have your opinion on the future. How, because obviously the world is changing, as you said. and even the healthcare is changing. But my question here is that the technologies are also changing very fast. Like we see a lot of change in artificial intelligence. We see a lot of change in big data. So how do you feel that can the healthcare system keep the pace with this changing technology and things which are changing? And in the meanwhile, I'll ask others also to keep their questions ready. Professor Vinita.
Okay, sir. Look, machines and artificial intelligence are revolutionizing healthcare industry by analyzing anything, detecting disease, pattern, and predicting outcomes. And these technology can automate tasks such as diagnosing illness and suggesting treatment. So it can be very helpful.
Okay. I think that will be the positive side of artificial intelligence, which we are all looking for. And maybe this is how it is going to change our life in a very, very better way. So that is yes, I have asked I have a question from Sakshi. She is asking, good morning, ma'am and sir. Ma'am, I want to ask, what was your approach for understanding the perception of people towards AI? Because it is possible that people will be having different opinions, and how you come up with the conclusion. I hope, ma'am, this is a valid question. Please, your views on this, ma'am. Professor Vinita, can you hear me? I think there's some technical issue. I'll just wait for a minute, or we'll move to the next session. Okay, so thank you, Professor Vinita, for taking your time and giving such a wonderful insight in the area of healthcare and the changing world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have Professor Mamun Habib, PhD, from School of Business and Entrepreneurship, Independent University, Bangladesh. Professor Habib, I know him personally. I have met him, and it's really an honor for me to introduce you. A lot of us who are present here know you. It is introducing you and reading your profile is obviously an honor to me. So let me do this. Professor Mamun Habib is a professor at School of Business and Entrepreneurship, Independent University of Bangladesh. At present, he is supervising 12 PhD scholars locally and internationally, and earlier 5 PhD scholars have graduated under him. As a PhD examiner, he has several PhD involvement at various, the list is very long, across the globe, from University Sanglor, University Putra, Malaysia, Assumption University of Thailand, Institute of Technology and Management, India, Birla Institute of Technology, Deemed University in India, National Institute of Technology in India, SOA University, Chitkara University, Aliganj Muslim University in India, University of Assumptions, Philippines. He has also around 22 years of experience in the field of teaching, training, workshop, consultancy, and research. He has published about more than 200 research papers, including conference proceedings, journal articles, book chapters, etc. Among these, he has around 75 articles from WS Scopus Index. He is the editor-in-chief for International Journal of Supply Chain Management, UK, and International Supply Chain Technology Journal from USA. He serves as editor-in-chief lead guest editor, editorial board member, reviewer of more than 60 prestigious journals, particularly in Elsevier Scopus and Thomson Reuters Web of Sciences index journals. As a keynote speaker, he has delivered lectures in more than 80 conferences in various countries, particularly in USA, UK, Taiwan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Turkey, Korea, and obviously in India, uh, uh, Philippines, Greece, Bulgaria, Australia, Italy, Nigeria, etc. He has conducted more than 200 webinars, workshops, locally and internationally. He is involved with a lot of grant research projects in USA, Malaysia, Thailand, Bulgaria, European Union, India, and Bangladesh. He's a lead trainer and a Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport International, UK. So, Professor Habib, it's really an honor to be on this panel with you. And I hope we all will get a lot of insights from your lecture today. So, Professor Mamun, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you so much. I'm so much honored that Dr. Rudresh Pandey is here. When I noticed that he's here, basically, he's my very good friend, and we met several times at different meetings. So, first of all, I'd like to give a special thanks to the organizer, and particularly that the 2023 ICPM committee. So, if you allow me, I'd like to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
First of all, today I'm going to discuss on the resilience in supply chain management. As you notice that our conference is the theme of the conference this time, the resilience. So basically, when you talk about the resilience in the supply chain, the first thing come up in our mind is supply chain disruption. And this disruption happens the two times. First of all, we notice that supply chain disruption during the COVID time. So during the pandemic time, we noticed that one kind of disruption. And basically, COVID has been changed, the dimension of our whole research area, the dimension of our whole thinking. And secondly, we are noticing now another supply chain disruption, and that is that due to the Russia-Ukraine war. So when this kind of disruption, the question is that how we can sustain. So in the supply chain, we are using the term that how we can resilient in supply chain management. So today my discussion will be like that. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Rudresh Pandey. He spent almost 3 minutes about my introduction. So now it is not necessary because everybody is very smart nowadays. We have a smart device. So you can click and you can explore the profiles. So basically, I like to start by the definition or basic supply chain. I believe that there are some participants, those expertise not in the business and management, not in the supply chain. At least you can get some idea about this one, because you can apply this concept in everywhere, manufacturing industry, even the service industry as well. So when you think about the supply chain, means it's a one chain that will start from the supplier and finish to the customer end. So when you say the supply chain, means it's a one chain that will start from supplier and finish to the customer end. And now when you're talking about this chain, we have to mention the three things, like the raw material, finished product. Raw materials will come up on the supply end. After the processing, finished products will deliver to the customer end. Then we have to think flow of goods. Basically, it is the flow of materials, flow of information, and flow of fund. So basically, there are three flows: flow of goods or flow of materials, flow of information, flow of fund. It is our discussion how we can ensure during the disruption time, how we can manage this one. I think you notice that we also mentioned flow of service. We can apply the flow of service for the service industry. So basically, we can apply this concept of supply chain in the both area, manufacturing and service industry. This is a very basic supply chain for manufacturing industry. I don't want to talk too much about this one. More or less, we have some idea. What I said just now, the three basic entities, raw materials come from the supply end. After the processing, finished product delivered to the customer end. and then flow of goods from supply to customer, flow of information, and flow of fund. So that is our thinking, then how we can manage this whole chain, how we can ensure that our customers, they have to receive the product on time. If you look very carefully, when you talk about the basic supply chain for manufacturing industry, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, there is intermediate bodies. It is very interesting thing is that it depends on your size of the business, size of the organization. If it is a small company, then you can think that's only just manufacturer factory. So that means, suppose if you think that like the pharmaceutical industry, your production capacity 500. So that time you just think that, okay, supplier, factory, manufacturer, and then customer will come to the factory, they can collect the medicine from there. If you think that like 5,000 medicine production capacity, that time you should think, okay, supplier, manufacturer, then one retailer, outlet, from where customer, they can collect the product. If your production capacity 50,000, that time you have to think that like the distribution center, or maybe the not only one distribution center, maybe the 2 distribution center. Each distribution center will be responsible for the 5 retailers. So that means for 2 distribution center, you have the like 10 retailers. So it means that it depends on your size of the business, how you design your supply chain. If I talk about the Tesco, if I talk about the Walmart, Walmart, if you look very carefully, they have the lots of outlets in the one country. And it's a chain shop all over the world. So they are following this one, that large scale. So even their factories, maybe the few factories, their distribution center, maybe the few hundred distribution center all over the world. The retail is a few thousands retailers all over the world. So it depends on you, but always look very carefully. Supply chain is available. So what is the supply chain? Start from the supplier and finish the customer end. We have to convert the raw materials to finished product. Basic supply chain for the service industry. If you look very carefully, the service industry, then the same process, that the raw materials come from the supplier end, after the processing, finished product delivered to the customer end. And there's a service provider. So if you ask me about the service industry supply chain management, I would say the hospital supply chain management. I would say the education supply chain management. So if you look very carefully, this is the education institution. It is the hospital. And now there is one very basic difference between the manufacturing and service industry. Service industry, we are assuming the non-profit organization. Service industry, your main target, you like to contribute to the society. Your main target, you like to add the values. On the other, manufacturing industry, main target, how can you enhance the profit? How can you improve the operations so that you can get the better quality products for getting the better profit. But service industry, your top to bottom, your thinking is that how you can add the values to society. So that's why you can see in the service and supply chain management, there is another body, the consumer. Consumer means that end customer, end user, final customer, final user. So what I said here, society is the consumer. So this is some examples, application you can think about supply chain management in manufacturing industry, vegetable supply chain, poultry supply chain, fishing industry supply chain, RNG supply chain, textile, and so on. And service industry supply chain, I already mentioned. And now, when you talk about the supply chain, that time, if you look very carefully, you have to understand, definitely we have to think some few facilities, few functions and activities. I would say that when you talk about how you can manage this supply chain, we have to think this kind of sequence of organizations. So the next question will be there, what kind of facilities, what kind of functions and activities are involved? If you talk about the facilities, then warehouse. Warehouse is storage. So we have to keep the raw materials, we have to keep the finished product. What I said today, the resilient supply chain, that time it is a question, how we can manage the disruption in a warehouse. Factory, definitely the factory must be there, processing center, distribution center, retail outlet must be there, and then backup office. If you go to the 7-Eleven or Family Mart, we can see the 24 hours operations. But it is not very easy that how they can manage the 24 hours operation. So they have the strong backup office. Without this support, they cannot manage the product availability. And then there will be some functional activities. What kind of functional activities? Suppose if you see this one, the forecasting. We should think about the forecasting to maintain the supply and demand. Purchasing at the supply end, when you particularly like to purchase the raw materials. Inventory management. When you keep in the product in the inventory, how you can manage this one? Do you want to use the barcode system? Do you want to use a QR code? Or you like to use the human counting? Information management, flow of information. It is a flow of information from the supplier to customer end. I would say that during the pandemic time, we are facing the issues here, information management, because our information was distorted. At first, we thought that our maybe our pandemic will be continued next 3 months or 6 months. Then we understood, no, it will take maybe 1 year. So you see, information is very important. Another one thing we faced during the pandemic time, sometimes some of the supply chain was based on the paperwork, paper-based. But in this COVID time, when there was a restriction, we cannot go out. That time, all information should be the paperless information. So there is that another digital information system, digital integrated management system. Quality assurance is the most major issue in the quality, and definitely the scheduling, on-time delivery, on-time service, and production and delivery. We should think about this one: on-time production, on-time delivery. Customer service definitely is a part of this one because you know that our whatever we do, our ultimate target the customer, whether they are satisfied or not. So keep our mind that when you work on the whole supply chain, our ultimate target the customer service. Now, come to our historical evolution of supply chain management. I like to discuss this issue because try to understand how you are getting the supply chain management. Basically, today I am talking about the resilience in supply chain management. But once a time, we did not use the term supply chain management. We used the term the logistic management. And logistic term was initiated in 1950s. Logistic term was initiated by the 1950s. And basically, it was started their journey in the defense, the military. And then, still, if you ask anyone, what is supply chain, they'll start to think for the logistic management because it was a very predefined for a long time. And then around the 1970s, matured the logistic concept. And then, formally, supply chain management, they started their journey after this one, around the 1980s. So formally, supply chain management started their journey in the 1980s. And that time, we are assuming that all will be incorporated in one umbrella, that is supply chain. Logistic management, inventory management, transportation management, warehouse management, our flow of information, flow of fund, everything will be integrated within one umbrella, that is supply chain management. So, and then initially, most of the research on supply chain management was in the manufacturing industry, particularly materials flow, particular flow of goods, something like that. And then the service and supply chain management, they started their journey in 1995. Supply chain management, they started their journey in the service industry in 1995. That is another milestone. And then you can see there are other milestones, supply chain management in the education institutions. It is one of the examples of the service industry by the Professor Lau in 2007. And then ITESM model was developed. ITESM means Integrated Tertiary Education Supply Chain Management model was developed. It is also one of the research on supply chain management in the service industry, particularly the education institutions. So if you look very carefully, the historical perspective, particularly supply chain management started in the 1980s. And basically 1980s, it started, in USA. And then after the US any new theory, then it will go to the European country. Then it will move to the Asian developed country, like the Singapore, Japan, something like that. Then it will move to our South Asian country, like India and other countries as well. So it means that our Asian country, you can see the supply chain concept after the 2000, not before the 2000. So now you understand our COVID period we passed in 2020. So that means this is the first time we are facing the COVID, we are facing the supply chain disruption during the pandemic time after establishing the supply chain management concept. And maybe next time, if we face the pandemic again, we keep in mind that how we can manage the supply chain disruption. And that's why today our discussion is that resilience in supply chain management, so that we can apply these findings for future supply chain disruption. If you look very carefully, you can see this one. I already mentioned you can apply supply chain management in the different area. I don't want to talk too much. This is some of the examples: RMG's industry, fishing industry, textile industry. This is supply chain performance measurement in manufacturing industry. This is the tourism supply chain management. It's the example of the service in supply chain management. This is supply chain management for the educational institutions, particularly tertiary education institutions. So this is another example of service in supply chain management. And that is the model ITESCM model, what I said earlier, integrated tertiary education supply chain management model. So I'd like to remind you again, if anybody interested about the supply chain management model for the higher education institutions, you could communicate with me later on. Maybe I could assist you. So now come to our next part. So what I said at first, we discussed about the supply chain. So I believe that everybody you have some idea about the supply chain management. Now we can go to our next one, that is a COVID period time. You know, if you ask me about the pandemic time, I would like to start in this way. Coronavirus, our COVID-19 has revealed the fragility of our modern supply chain. So now we understood that fragile our modern supply chain. And then when the country was locked down one by one, that time we understood we need the diversification of sourcing. We need the digitalization in order to keep that or building the stronger, smarter supply chain and ensure the lasting recovery. And COVID period has hit our global trade and investment at the unprecedented speed and scale. And multinational companies initially they faced supply shock, and then they noticed the demand shock as more and more countries ordered people to stay at their home. And then you know that though there is some initiative on the government level, because the individual consumer suddenly struggle to procure the basic products and materials, or are forced to confront the fragility of the modern supply chain. So it is an urgent need to design a smarter, stronger, more diversified supply chain. So it's one kind of lesson in our whole pandemic time. You know, disruptions are gradually being held everywhere. Ports to factory, storehouses, delivery channel, everywhere. And disruptions was available in the transportation, warehouse, even supply the raw materials, procurement, distribution channel. Even the rural farm level, you can see this disruption. So that means you can see this disruption everywhere, every end of the supply chain management. This is one of the examples of supply chain disruption around the 2020 May. So that time it happens that it's one of the examples of the port. You can see this is Chittagong port in Bangladesh. The storage capacity 49,019 TEUs. And during that time, 2020 May, it was the more than the storage capacity, the products, availability of products. But unfortunately, they could not deliver. And not only that, 11 vessels at jetties were waiting for offloading of goods. And another 30 containers, vessels at outer anchorage for berthing, they're waiting. So if you look very carefully, the whole supply chain has been collapsed. Initially, when COVID-19 started their journey, we assumed that, okay, planning is good, but the remaining three pillars like sourcing, making delivery is bad because no transportation, we don't have enough human resource, something like that. But after the few months, particularly the 1 year of COVID, we understood no, our planning wasn't working. Even our sourcing, making, and delivery was not that bad. It's a worse situation now. So what I said that this is one kind of interview, and we noticed that they face the disruption in the three areas, like port area, factory area, and transportation. And their ship loaded with goods are stuck at ports. They don't get enough people to run the production and drive the trucks to carry their commodities. You know, but this is the one phenomenon I discussed. But if you come to the best example of supply chain disruption during the pandemic time, that is that Apple. You know, and this is one of the best examples of supply chain disruption is that Wistron Corporation, one of the Apple suppliers. You know, can you imagine that? They are located in the China. So China is locked down at first. So now they're facing lots of issues with this one. And that's why they're now planning to move from China to different countries like maybe India, Vietnam, Mexico. And their target will be the different continent. So maybe one continent will be closed, but another continent will be open. So what they face this time, the China issue, so they try to recover this issue for future time. Another example, the Samsung, the motherboard is the South Korea. So they're also facing the same issue that suddenly that there's a lockdown. So then how they can manage the raw material absorption, how they can send the products to the retailer end. So now they're also thinking they like to move on the diversification option to Vietnam and India. So that is the way that how supply chain disruption changing the business mind. So now I like to give you some recommendation that how we can manage this supply chain disruption. The first of the micro supply chain. We should move to the micro supply chain instead of the macro supply chain. If you ask me about this one, I'd like to say, suppose we have to go to the agility speed into our supply chain by creating a micro supply chain. What is it? Finite and decentralized as aluminum product models. Maybe you no need to think of the whole country. Maybe you can think of the one side, like the southern side or the western, northern side, something like that. I'd like to give the one example. In Malaysia, Johor Bahru, close to the Singapore, suddenly it happens that due to the Singapore situation, Johor Bahru was a lockdown. But interesting thing is that their factory in the Johor Bahru, they like to bring the raw materials from the Penang. Penang was open, but unfortunately they couldn't bring the product to the Johor Bahru. And again, Johor Bahru is open, but the Penang is the lockdown. So they cannot bring the raw materials from the Penang. So what I said that nowadays, why not you can make some strategies like that? Buy where you make and make where you sell. I again use the term, buy where you make and make where you sell. So that's why you use the term micro supply chain. Secondly, supply diversification. Maybe we have to go to the multiple suppliers, and maybe we have to go to the dual sourcing of the critical components. I know that many factories, those are dependent on the China, even very small raw materials. So suddenly China was locked down. They couldn't get the raw materials, and the whole production was stuck. So it happens. So now we said no need to do this one. We can do some diversification in supplier selection. First, we can say, suppose we have either three options. The first tier supplier, second tier supplier, third tier supplier. Supplier A, supplier B, supplier C. Our first target supplier A is a global raw materials. Second also supplier B, maybe is a local raw material. The third one also the locals, but the low price. So now you have a three option. You have to make the good relation with all suppliers. And then you have to check. If you couldn't get the supplier A, then try to think of supplier B. If you couldn't get the supplier B, you can think of supplier C. And the third one, the supply chain strategize. There is no, what I said there is no, the long process of there is no sustainable process in supply chain because it's always changing the situation. So what you can do, our ultimate long-term strategy, but we have to go critical test. We have to check our strategy, existing strategy. And then based on that, we have to revise. So maybe after 2 or 3 months, we can revise our strategy. And one of the few targets you have to keep in mind, organizational development, organizational growth, and climate change. Keep in mind, and climate change. So that environmental is another issue. So when you do go for the strategy, maybe you have to change the strategy. Nowadays, when you make any strategy, you have to think of the SDG goals. So that is some things you have to keep in mind in our whole supply chain strategy. What I said earlier, that if you look very carefully, we can see the decentralization of the manufacturing capacity. So maybe, did you notice that COVID time, the people, they don't want to go to the shopping mall. They like to get the product at their home. So they like to bring the production home. Can you imagine that Walmart, when the COVID, the 2020, mid of the 2020, the time, they recruited the human resource just for home delivery service. So it happens. It happens. So there is another way you can go to the next level of the how you can manage supply chain disruption. That is the automation. And what I said earlier, the mini operating model, small batch production. So the transition to a new model for supply chain will be underpinned by a rapid wholesale digitization of the paperwork that accompanies global trade. And now, what I said just now, we have to check this one very carefully. We have to check the technology, the relationship between the buyers and suppliers. So it should be changed from the paper-based to the technology-based. And we have to go for the everywhere environment-friendly, so less paperwork. We have to think of the digitalization and the buyer-supplier relationship to create that robust supply chain so that we can identify the supply with the less time consuming. With technology, supply chain could quickly switch to alternative providers, a regular supply chain face disruption. And maybe it is that one of the options that how we can create the smart, agile, industry-driven supply chain is the key to building a global trade and investment network that is capable of weathering the future storms. And now comes our last one. What I said that now let us start to think, because we are talking about the resilient supply chain. So when we have faced this kind of supply chain disruption, how can the resilient in supply chain? I already mentioned our main target, that digitalization in the buyer-supplier relationship, and our target is that building the robust supply chain. In that case, we can apply that our technological advancement like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Industrial Revolution 4, 5, automation, robots, cloud computing, Internet of Things, blockchain, big data, etc. Why you have to depend on the paperwork? We have to need the big data. China was developed due to the big data. They always invented the data.
We'll keep some time for question, Professor Mamun.
Yes, I'm going to finish in 1 minute.
Thank you, sir.
So that is the one option. We can apply the technology advancement. So let us create our smart, agile, industry-driven, resilient supply chain with maintaining the ecosystems, which is the key to building a global trade and investment network that is capable of weathering the future storms. Like this kind of supply chain disruption we can manage. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Mamun. It's really nice to hear and attend a lecture from you every time. You really started from a very basic of explaining supply chain, and that was really so nice and how a flow of services you explained, flow of goods, manufacturing. You explained your model also, which is ITESCM, ITE Supply Chain Management Model, which is your model. And I'll ask everyone who's present here, who's listening, whoever is interested, can contact Professor Mamun for knowing more about this model, and maybe a research collaboration with you, sir. We can look forward. Also, you spoke of macro and micro supply chain management, which was really important. One thing which I really noticed and like is your sentence, your keyword, which you said, buy where you make and make where you sell. And this is what explains supply chain in this era, which is post-pandemic, which is changing, and how decentralization of manufacturing is taking place. Now I invite people who are listening, they have a golden opportunity to ask and discuss few questions with Professor Mamun. As we are running short of time, I'll just take one or two maybe questions. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand or you can type in the chat box also. People who are listening offline, they can go to the organizing committee and ask their question, and the committee will put the question in the chat, and I'll ask on your behalf. So if there are any questions, you can ask. So
gave one question.
Yes.
Thank you. For developing countries like Indonesia, which has limited technology, Could you suggest how to maintain domestic supply chain in the middle of trade war of important and cheap supply chain? Thank you very much.
Okay, I think if I understood, I'm not clear about your question. You're talking about the domestic supply chain and global
Yes.
supply chain, right? Yeah. So that's very interesting thing is that during the COVID period, we got this message that our first target will be that sustain in the domestic way. So the domestic supply chain is the first target. So if you keep the sustain in the domestic supply chain, maybe then you can think the global supply chain. Because at pandemic time, we understood the power of the import and export. And so that's why we suggest earlier that it would be better you have to start with the internally a domestic supply chain. Even if the large country like the Indonesia, maybe we can divide the southern side on the west and northern side. Maybe we can divide this kind of micro supply chain, the micro supply institute of the macro supply chain, mini operating models. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Professor Mamun. Thank you, sir, for taking this time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you again here. Thank
Sure,
you.
sir,
Thank
sure.
you.
And we look forward to meeting you in India, sir.
Yeah, inshallah. See you
We'll
again. Okay,
see
bye
you
bye.
in Delhi, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Mamun. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our third keynote speaker, Professor Ranjith PV from Christ, deemed to be University, India. It's my honor to introduce him. Professor Ranjith PV has over 18 years of experience in academics. He's a PhD in service quality and has interest of operations management, quality management, quantitative techniques, analysis of projects, etc. He has published paper in different facets of management in reputed journals. He has attended different workshops conducted by Academy of International Business, and is in review committee of AIBPM. He has worked in reputed college in Mumbai, India, and is now currently working as associate professor at Christ University, deemed to be University, Bangalore, India. He is well versed with SPSS, marketing engineering tools, the endeavor to learn new things and share that knowledge among the stakeholders like students, faculty members, and corporate community has helped him immensely in his professional life. So let us all welcome Professor Ranjith PV. Sir, the time is yours. We are eager to hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Though I'm specialized in operations and marketing, right now I'm working as the associate professor in marketing department at Christ University, Christ deemed University, Bangalore, India. And welcome all distinguished guests. It's pleasure to hear Mr. Habib and Dr. Rudresh. Thank you for your introduction. And we are the advantage of AIBPM and its conferences that we get to hear a lot of diverse opinions from across the world. And once again, thank you, ICPM, AIBPM, and Dr. Liam, specifically for inviting me again for the keynote speaker. Today, we heard about something on healthcare, something on supply chain. So I thought let's go into something totally different. Let's go to something which is interesting for everyone, which is movies. So though my paper is specifically with respect to Indian conditions, it can be generalized in a different way. So I hope that this will be a good paper to look into, because I've not seen many papers in this particular area. So that's why I thought this is a very good option for me. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir, you can make it a full screen. Yes, sir, now it is full screen and it is visible.
So my topic, I actually have co-authors, Dr. Aparna Verma and Dr. Ajay. The topic for our research is how influential the movie trailers are for moviegoers' perspective. So how is a movie trailer impacting the success of a movie in short, right? That's what is the topic. So the point here is, if you look at movies, for example, before going to the slides, if you look at say a movie like Oppenheimer, this was something which was shown as a trailer in a lot of different channels and different OTT platforms, and that became a source of success, if you can say. Similar are the different movies which comes, whether we talk about Indian movies or Hollywood movies. Trailers definitely have an impact, in the sense that gives you a direction for you to understand what kind of movies it is. You know, what is the formula? Is it a thriller? Is it a romantic movie, or is it something which is like an Oppenheimer, which is talking about the actual thing, things which has happened? So that gives a perspective from the moviegoers. I am, thinking that, okay, this movie, is it going to be a something of my choice, right? And again, one more aspect which definitely I'm looking into maybe later on is how that along with the supplements given in a movie theater. For example, you talk about a popcorn or a samosa in Indian conditions, and foreign conditions might be different, how that is impacting. So what I feel is, or rather we feel is, that along with the trailer, these kind of supplements which are given helps a box office success of a movie, right? So a lot of people come for the experience of the movie rather than simply talking about the storyline or the action or anything else. So when we looked into the literature review, we couldn't find, maybe it is there, but we couldn't find too many literature review with respect to this particular area. So we tried to get into that. So what we found is some of the aspects like, it talks about, some of the papers talk about valuable insights into expectations of the movie. Marketers, if we can really prepare a trailer successfully with all the ingredients required, giving something to the viewer but not everything, that can really create anticipation, interest among potential viewers. And a lot of researchers have gone into that, but compared to what you can see among other research areas, the researchers have not looked into trailer and movie watching in combination, not to that extent. That's why I thought that this is a very good area to look into. So if you look at it, advancements in technology, when we look into artificial intelligence or anything else, that is helping this particular area also, because now if you see the kind of trailers which comes in have a very potential ingredient to make this movie success. But unfortunately, the other side is also there. For example, some of the movies, the trailers are so good, using the technology, they're made so good, but unfortunately when you go to the movie, the experience is not that good. So that also happens, right? So some of the analytical approach, Mr. Ramsagar 2018 talked about how this trailer and the advancement technology is helping the marketing strategies to make sure that the hype is there as far as the movie is concerned. Whether the hype converts into reality is a very doubtful question. So some of the other research you can see is that playing trailers in cinemas before starting movie has shown significant impact on movie consumption decisions. So that's one more. I was talking about the experience. So people are now going to the theaters not only for watching the movie, but having that experience. So it's a theater is not only depending on the movie, but it's also depending on the condiments and the supplements which they're giving for the movie goer. So that way, the trailer is definitely having an impact. So Some of the other aspects which you have looked into are action comedy ranked as top 2 movie genres rather, while the internet has emerged as the most preferred medium to establish a one-to-one relationship with their target audience, formulated by Y, Elian, Ling Lamp, and Jerick D. One more aspect which is really looked into is the cultural emotional attachment. This is where I think this particular thing, if we can generalize it across the world, has a limitation, because what we feel as researchers is culture has a real impact on this. So I'm not sure, maybe we'll have to look into the particular research on a global level, and maybe definitely we can have a collaborative research if possible. I'm not sure how much a movie will be successful globally if the trailer is a success, right? I'm not clearly sure about it, because Indians generally are really having an emotional connect to the particular thing. So the cultural impact, maybe you can say a kind of dance or the kind of color shown in the trailer has an impact on, okay, let me go for the movie, right? So that I don't know how much is the impact if I cross the border and go to the other country. So that's something which you have to really look into. So that's what Johnson et al. Is talking about. Cultural emotional attachment has an impact on this. Some studies have looked into the computational approach based on models of forecasting, right, in predicting how is the behavior. So how this how we can forecast it, and is it actually correct to forecast? Some of the other methods they have talked about is the video stimuli neuroscience research, understanding the attention deficit disorders, and some of the other things which you are talking about is the kind of violence which is shown. So how it is impacting. So not only the cultural emotional connect, but the kind of package which is shown in the trailer, including the violence, including the trauma shown. Also, this is something which we have to really look into. Actually, our research, we are not focused on that. How much time should the trailer be so that it is having maximum impact? So is it 2 minutes, 30 seconds? Is it good enough? Or is it less than 2 minutes is good enough? So that's something also which, because people have now attention deficit, and people want to switch over to the next one faster. So that's something which you have to really look into. Yelkar 2004 have investigated the effectiveness of movie trailers broadcasted during Super Bowl season. So Super Bowl game of the National Football League, US is considered a major television. So that is something you can look into. So when competitions are going on, for example, now World Cup is coming in India as far as cricket is concerned. So there definitely movie goers will be watching cricket more. So can I create an impact using a movie trailer, and can I make sure that people come for the movie? That's something which you have to really look into, right? So movie producers consider this a medium to look into how you can attract more people to come into that. So what they did was, there was a comparative study of the revenue between movies advertised and not advertised during Super Bowl. And they found out that if when you are advertising or promoted, it attracted 40% more attraction than compared to when it was not coming. So definitely even Hollywood cinema, this has an impact. That was what was found out. So this basic study which we did had a descriptive approach with around 616 samples. So we require 384 sample size. So this is pretty good enough. Convenient sampling was taken. And we have done it Bengaluru and Mysuru in India. Definitely we'd like to extend it to other parts of the country as well as world. The sampling unit basically was students and individuals employed in various service sectors. So main objective was to find out the main features of trailers which are important, relationship between demographic factors and main features of the trailers. And we also did a model. I have not included that model here. And what are the influence of these variables on the box office success? That's what the basic objective of the study was. If you look at this, there are something which is marked in red. For example, editing is very important for movie trailers. So people found out that you require a shortened movie trailer to have a maximum impact. So also you can see I'm likely to see a movie if the trailer is good. So if the trailer is attractive, good, beautiful, edited version with a good message, definitely people will be interested to watch. I often watch movie trailers in my mobile laptop, so that's something which is technology has come into prominence. There are chances that movie trailer is good, but the movie was not, and vice versa. So that can also happen. And definitely people now are very sensible. So if the movie trailer is good, they might go to the theater, but if the movie is not good, the word of mouth will not be good. So it may not be successful in the future. So a lot of aspects which we looked into as far as the movie is concerned, and we found out what are the important parameters per se. So analysis study reveals that movie trailers play a significant role in determining movie success based on our data and our study, which can have its own limitations. So demographic variables were found to have no influence. So irrespective of whether young crowd of older crowd, as industry people or working people, everybody had the same opinion. However, given the undeniable impact of trailers on box office performance, it's imperative that for filmmakers to enhance the attractiveness, make sure that it attracts every age group. So study utilized model using smart PLS. We also did a non-parametric test, right? And dependent variable was decision to watch the movie or movie consumption behavior. Independent variables were demographic variables, and the tables were given, and I've not shown the table, but you can see that some of the variables like impact of movie trailer has a very, very important positive side to it as far as movie is going is concerned. So basically the study talking about the importance of movie trailer, and we found out that if a trailer is good and if it is properly packaged, it will have an impact on the box office success. So you can, but definitely you require a little bit of better crafting in terms of that, and it can be applicable to all demographic variables without any difference. Film production houses can definitely redefine their strategies, make sure that everybody have an impact, and make sure that it is a shortened version with the entire essence of the movie going into the trailer. So these are some of the references which we have taken. I've not gone to the smart PLS and the model, but basically we found out that definitely a packaged trailer with all essence will definitely help the movie goers, and it will have a positive impact on that, irrespective of the demographic variables, and it will have an impact on the success of the movie in the long run. Thank you for your time. It was a very initial stage, but definitely this will be, we would like people to be more contributing to that, and maybe enlarge the vision and the scope of the research to make sure that there's more learning. Thank you for the time, Dr. Rudresh and AIBPM. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think a very, very interesting. I would like to love to part of any further research which you do, because sir, this is something very close to us, and I'm sure a lot of people will be asking questions here. And what you explained has really given a new perspective in this changing world, how things are changing. And when we are seeing so much in electronic media and technology which is changing, even the consumption of our movies, how we can relate to the trailers and how it is contributing to the success. And with a technical research like yours, sir, I think this will be definitely giving a lot of insights. So I already have, sir, a lot of hands coming up here for the question. I would request people to write their questions in the chat box also. And if there is a question from the Tokyo floor, you can also ask. So I have one question from Nosa, sorry, Mahima.
Yeah.
So Mahima, if you can unmute and ask your question quickly.
Sure, sure. Good morning, sir. So it was a very interesting topic that you talked on. And indeed, I would ask you a question. During your research, did you find anything, at least for in India, you talked about the cultural aspect, right? So during the trailers, the Indian audience, some or the other way, find something uh, something controversial or something like that, and the movie is not doing great, but it does great because of the some controversial trailers or something like that. So was there any data according to that?
Yeah, we have asked, but um, if you look at the most important parameters, the controversial side of it did not come into the picture to that extent. Maybe the limitation is that we are done in a place which is like little, you can say, upside in terms of the stature. Maybe if we take this study to all the towns and major cities across the country and maybe the world, it might have a little bigger impact. But from our study, we did not find that as an important parameter. So that's why we not put it as a in the table as a important aspect. Definitely, it will have an impact on that. But I'm not sure. Look at the other side. A trailer which is having maybe around 2 minutes or 2.3 minutes, until unless there's a real controversy with respect to the subject which is handling. I don't think a trailer will have an impact on the success because it is not showing the entire picture. So if there is something before the trailer comes with respect to the movie, that there's okay, such a movie is coming, and this can be controversial, this is touching this subject, maybe that might have an impact. But otherwise, the trailer, the controversial side of it may not have direct impact this thing. So another thing which we have to admit is we have taken some of the independent variables, some of the extraneous variables, but yes, there is scope for more extraneous or other variables which we may not have considered. So definitely that's limitation. So we'll look into
Okay,
that.
thank you, Mahima. Thank you for asking this question. Now, I'll take a question from Tokyo, where Professor Lim is sitting and he's helping me. So thank you, Professor Lim. I would like you to ask the person who's asking question to put their question.
Thank you. This is an interesting topic, very happy, and I want to ask you about how did you simply matter and what kind of your respondents in this study especially, and would you please to explore more about your result of non-parametric analysis, because I see that there are some independent variables in your study, and would you please to explore more about the other independent.
Dr. Ridresh, I'm not able to really comprehend what was the question.
Professor Lim, can I ask you to please help and explain, because somehow I think the voice was not clear. The question is not clear. If you can repeat the question.
If the question was that what I've considered is more demographic variables as independent variables, do you mean to say that more independent variables could have been considered? Was that the question?
I think so, related to itself.
And now I think it has become mute. I'm not able to hear. Yeah. Dr. Liam, any way of understanding the question? I think that was the question, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you look at it, we have taken this particular aspect as the independent variables mainly because we thought that understanding the difference between the kind of people coming into the theaters is important. That's why we have taken demographic variables as an important thing. And some of the variables we have taken external variable. As we said, we didn't go into a very large macro level model here. We restricted ourselves to a micro model. If you're interested, definitely I'll share the paper also with you. But the model was restricted in that sense. So that's what when Mahima asked the question, the answer is that we can definitely take more variables into consideration and make it into a larger perspective. But right now, since very less studies have been conducted on this as far as we are concerned, we wanted to find out, is there an impact? If there is an impact, is it positive? What could be the variables which are having impact? We restricted ourselves to creating a smaller model. Definitely in future we can expand the model if that was the question. That's my answer.
Okay, we have a question, Professor, from the in the chat box from Mr. Abdul is asking that he's trying to ask the ratio of expense which movies do between the overall promotion and the trailer, and so is it still?
We didn't go into the financials of it per se because of different reasons. One, it's not that I'm not sure as a researcher whether we will be able to get the data with respect to that. That's one side of it. Second side of it is I'm not sure whether the amount of money which you put into trailer or the movie has an impact on the movie success. For example, you can see a lot of movies where one example which Indians will know, there was a movie which came called Adipurush, which was a big budget movie, but ultimately bombed in the box office. So I'm not sure whether the amount of money which you put into the system has a direct impact on the movie success. So that's another reason why we didn't go into the financial side. But I'm not sure how much data we'll get in terms of how much money was put in getting the trailer right. I'm not sure about it. So financials were not gone into that. Yes, these are some of the limitations which you can look into for the future research.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining us, and really an interesting topic to
thank
be
you. That's what we thought
morning.
about, because this is something which is not much research, and I love,
so
to be very frank,
I'll
I love
just take
movies.
one more question, sir, which is coming
definitely.
on my chat, is from Swarn. Swarn is asking one question: is the movie failure on the basis of controversies or lacking on content? So have you looked into the content or the failures also? So
No,
he's
if you
trying to
look at
ask.
the failures, see, that's another problem here, because we have looked into the trailer and the box office success. So trailer having impact on that. Now, if I look at the box office failure, there are so many variables which have to be considered there. Which is maybe content, maybe a controversy, maybe the way it is structured, maybe the amount of time, a lot of things, right? And maybe the timing of the release of the movie, so many aspects. So it's very difficult for us to focus on everything. That's what I'm saying. Next thing which we are focusing on is, are the moviegoers going the kind of food which you get in the theater, or are they going for the story? That's what we will want to do it as research next time. So maybe we can look into all these aspects when we go for research next time. I hope that's it from my side.
Okay, sir. So I'll, on your behalf, I take this liberty to invite everyone to be part of your research. We will be very happy to be in such an interesting research, sir. So I think anyone else, if anyone have question, then we can move to closing this session. So anyone else, you can either write in your chat a final question. So I think the questions have finished now, and this was really a wonderful session from you, sir, and all the keynote speakers. And to conclude the discussion, our keynote speakers with their astounding presentation. Thank you again to all the keynote speakers for sharing those insights with us today.
Thank you.
Hopefully your knowledge, the knowledge which you have shared with us can be an inspiration for all of us here. Now we shall return to our MC, Olia. So I think she'll guide us for the next steps.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for your wonderful guidance, and the way you handled the whole session was very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope, Orlia, if you are there, or Alicia.
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Can you hear
Yes,
my
yes,
voice?
yes. You are audible. You are audible.
After this, Miss Aulia will join the Zoom and guide us to the next session, which is presentation session, and we will have a short break after this before the presentation session.
Sure, sure. So I'll request everyone to be just give us few minutes, and then we'll give you guidance on how the session will take place now.
Okay.
So kindly wait for 2 minutes as Olia joins, and she will guide us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. Thank you, Dr. Radres, for such insightful discussion that we just had. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you,
I'm
Alia.
sure that
Welcome,
we've
and
been...
you are there.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
for your
sure, Dr.
support.
Radres. Thank you very much. That's really nice discussions previously. And I'm pretty sure that we've been having great days since the seminar and discussions were definitely resourceful and well constructed. Thank you very much once again to all keynote speakers for the informative and interesting talk. In the moment, we will run on the next agenda of the parallel sessions. However, we need to take the short break, and the parallel sessions will be started within 2 hours. Thank you very much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, and also Bapak dan Ibu, have a nice short break. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We've finally come to the end of the 2023 Tokyo International Conference of Project Management. It's such a joyful moment to engage in this kind of event, interact with various people with different point of view, but the same excitement. Hopefully you get all necessary fruitful and engaging breakthrough knowledge on embracing changes in this evolving world, resilience in management and finance. Don't forget to post the photo and testimonial in your Instagram and social media and give hashtag 2023 ICPM and hashtag info for academia 4 stand for number 4. And then the best post will win free ticket to our next conference. On behalf of AIBPM and the International Studies Department, the Graduate School of Frontier Sciences, the University of Tokyo, we'd like to say thank you to all keynote speakers, moderator, participants, and especially to committees of today's program. Our apology for any inconvenience and lag during the program. Hope to engage with you again soon in the next agenda. Stay healthy, everybody, and stay productive. I am Aulia Hardiani. See you and goodbye.